2003, at that point, there was very little idea about wolverines, a very elusive carnivore that had been known to be trapped in the province in the far north, but where there was absolutely no information about its broader distribution or even whether it was reproducing in the wild. And so we teamed up with the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources and put together a project for the first time studying for a wolverine in lowland boreal forest. One component of this project was large-scale aerial surveys across the province, very small plains. And we at WCS took charge of this component and undertook surveys that have been going on since over the past 10 years, scouring the province across about 500,000 square feet. So we spend up to 8 hours in a day in this plane. There's two of us, the pilot and me in the back, and we never touch down during those 8 hours. And it's an extraordinary experience to be able to get a view of just 100 meters off the ground of this extraordinary landscape. And so we would take these planes and fly across large areas where there are no roads at all in far northern Ontario, and sometimes go for hours without seeing any human sign, but see caribou tracks, wolverine tracks, wolves, and moose around the landscape. And after a while, with lots of searching, you can get together a picture of the distribution patterns of these animals, where they're more likely to be found, what kind of habitat, how they may react to fire and other kind of broad-scale changes in the landscape. So wolverines were an animal that we were able to get together a very good picture of over the past few years. And now we know quite well where it is not. So it is very rare to see wolverines. We got a very good sense of where they are through their tracks, and we'll go 8 hours a day on a stretch and see many tracks of wolverines, but very seldom, maybe once a month, do we ever see an actual wolverine. And one time where it was just incredible, we were flying over this boreal forest, remote boreal forest area, and all of a sudden we came upon a huge number of wolverine tracks. It caught our eye immediately. We started to circle this area, and it was very soon that we discovered there was a male planted right in the middle of these tracks. And that was quite something, because usually they bolt immediately when the plane comes. And so to have this wolverine stand its ground right there looking at the plane as we were circling above was quite amazing. So as we were looking there, we discovered that there was a fairly intact moose carcass right nearby that he was obviously guarding. So it hadn't snowed in 8 days, and there were no sign of wolf tracks. So this was not the result of a wolf kill. It could have been killed by the wolverine itself, not unheard of, or succumbed to other causes, but nevertheless it was the wolverine. And this guy stood his ground there. We were circling over it about 20 times. It never budged. It stared at the plane, and it was an extraordinary experience, and we left it on its own and went on our way. But it's that kind of baseline information that is absolutely necessary for putting together conservation decisions that will affect this animal and other vulnerable animals that share its land.